Hello everyone, my name is Maple Zamora. My group members are Yesenia and Garrett. Our grade level and subject is grade level 3 and our subject is US History. I am part of Ponce grade 3B. Today we're going to focus on the explanation portion of our lesson plan. We're going to begin by going over the lesson components. Together, my co-teachers and I came up with these. The first one is students will gather information and then proceed back to their table. So our part of our lesson plan is to do a station teaching. So as they gather information, when they're done completing all of the stations, they will go back to their seats. Next, we have students refer to the information they learned from the station. So let's see if they comprehend what they learned. Next, we have co-teachers will ask students to choose what they like to share from what they learned. So a specific question my co-teachers and I will ask is, what did you find most interesting or do you feel is important? This gives the students, two options. And then for sure, after the question, we are going to give the students some think time to think about their answer. And then we wrote down, students will pick what information their group found the most interesting and present it out loud. Their peers will listen and fill in any information they might have missed. I think this is a great idea to do. It gives opportunity for students to explain and then the students can learn from one another. We move on to the next box, which is the barriers for this specific section of our lesson plan. Some of the barriers we came up with are some students might not be able to grasp the information from the group activity. So some students are not good learning on their station. Some students prefer the teacher to lecture and they listen. All students learn differently, so this is a barrier that we need to take into consideration. Next, we have when co-teachers ask questions, students might not want to respond. I feel like this happens often. Sometimes students are shy, and when a teacher asks a question, no one wants to speak, but participation is crucial in order to have a good discussion. We did come up with a solution for this, but I will go into that later. The other barrier we came up with is students might not remember all the information from all the tables. So those are the 3 barriers we came up with. I am sure there are more barriers out there. If any of my classmates think of any, I would be glad to hear any barriers that you guys come up with that I missed. Next, we are going to go over the solutions we came up for each of these barriers. So we wrote down, students will take notes as they go through the stations to remember and not confuse information. We don't know exactly, my co-teachers and I don't know exactly how many stations we're going to do, how many tables we're going to do. For sure, it's going to be more than 3. Sometimes students might confuse the information, might confuse dates, or they might simply forget what they learned. I know it's happened to me where I learned something in that moment, I'm like, wait, what did I learn? I forget. So a solution that we came up with is as they go through their tables, their stations, they will have a notepad and they will take notes. So they can write down station 1, these notes, station 2, and then the notes for that station. Next, for the solution we came up with when students might not want to respond, we could begin by asking for volunteers. After we give them some think time, we could ask for volunteers. And just in case no one wants to volunteer or the class is a little bit shy, the next solution we came up with is ask students to discuss with their partner or group before they discuss with the class. So in case that happens, we'll do think time. Okay, you guys had a chance to think about it. Now go and discuss it with your partner or with your group and then give them a certain amount of time. Okay, now can I have a volunteer to share with the class? Hopefully after they discussed it with their partner, it will encourage them to discuss what they said with their class. Or maybe they could get ideas from their partners. I believe working with partners is awesome because they can learn from one another. Now for the last box, it is the metacognitive statements. I believe I wrote one down, yes. I wrote down, I think it is important to give the students time to reflect on what they learned and an opportunity for them to explain what they have learned. This is another way for myself and co-teachers to see if the students learn from doing stations. Now, I think it's good for them to give them a chance to, speak about what they learned. Maybe there was a student who was really excited or passionate about what they learned. This gives an opportunity to share what they've discussed. And this is mainly what we have down for our explanation portion in our lesson plan. Thank you.